Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhattarajanam Suprabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagini Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukaro Anthakaro Vairukarastan Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavathitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Acharyaya Nachiketase Namaha. So we are in the second section of Kaṭha Upaniṣad, or the second chapter of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad. And the first session, second chapter, first section of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, and we have to deal with the seventh shloka. We already saw the sixth shloka, and there is a sentence which is repeated from the third verse, and in the fifth verse, in the sixth verse, and in the seventh verse, and in the eighth verse, and in the ninth verse. Same sentence. Etat vaitat. This sentence, or this phrase, to be understood properly. Nachiketas asked about a truth which is beyond the do's and don'ts, which is beyond the cause and effect, which is beyond the virtue and vice, which is untouched by any kind of empirical realities. That is being shown by this single sentence, Etat Vaitat. Lord Yama tells to Nachiketas, O Nachiketas, what you have asked me, that reality is this, Etat Vaitat. Remember, Etat in Sanskrit, in order to show something which is near, this. In English, it is this. I will close the door and come. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. The word etat in Sanskrit, its meaning is this. When we use the word this in English, it should be in my reach. then only we will say this. This is a cat. This is a cow. This is a boy. This is a ball. So the etat word represents that what you have asked is very near to you. Through this word, this, which is not out of reach, or which is not beyond our perception, which is not beyond anything in the world. Anybody who is really eager to get rid of this death and birth cycle, for them, it is very near. That is the meaning of etat. This, the word this represents that something which is very near to us. Why tat? This Y represents, of course, and tat represents that. The meaning of tat is that. That which you have asked is indeed this. This will be the complete meaning of this phrase. But the meaning should be understood properly, not the literally meaning. We have to go beyond the literally meaning. Something which was assumed by Nachiketas was far away from the world or from the heaven. If there any reality like this, which is beyond the cause and the effect, which is beyond the vice and virtue, which is beyond the do's and don'ts, is there any reality? If it is not in our perception, which is beyond the perception, where it will be? In that idea, actually Nachiketas asked, but the Lord told him, this is that what you have asked. Means the self is the intimate thing of any individual which is free from the death and birth cycle. For me, myself is very near to my body or my sense or my mind, anything. In order to show that self is attainable by any individual, if they are ready or if they have the strong desire to get rid of this samsara. See, not everybody will have the same spirit to know the source of happiness. Some may enter and just they will try to understand. Sometimes it feel that it's not getting to my mind, so they will just walk away from the teachings. Some may stick with the teachings. But this sentence should be understood properly. What we are searching is very near to us. Etat vaitat. That is you. That is the self, which is the source of happiness, which is the solution for all my problems, which is the solution of my physical plane issues, which is the solution for my mentally in the issues in the mental plane, issues in the psychological plane. Everything get resolved once you understand this properly. That is why Lord Death told Nachiketas, what you are searching, what you have asked to me is the self which is all pervading in each and every living being. Etat Vaitat. That is the thing which you have asked. It is very near to you. This is that self which is the base, which is the locus of each and every name and form in this universe. This is the meaning of Etat Vaitat. Now we can go to the new verse. So, shloka number 7. I will read this verse and I will give you the meaning. Remember, those who are beginners, those who are not familiar with the Upanishad statements and Upanishad teachings, let they stay tuned for 1 or 2 or 3 classes. It will help them to get a stability in their life through these verses. Even though we have completed half of the text, still the same topic is running through each and every verse. So each and every verse can throw the light of the topic which we have already gone through. So no need to worry if there is a discontinue in the previous session. Please stay tuned. I will read the verse and I will give the meaning. Ya pranena sambhavati atitir devatamayi guham pravishya tishtandi ya budhebir vechayate etat vaitat. Again I will read. Ya pranena sambhavati atitir devatamayi guham pravishya tishtandi ya budhebir vechayata etat vaitat. Very interesting verse again. Lord Death given to Nachiketas. Ya, that which is pranena. In the verse, in the Bhashya, the commentary of Shankara, Adi Shankara, he gives the meaning pranena hiranya garbha rupena. So, that which is in the form of hiranya garbha rupena, the first born individual in the universe. Whenever I say born or birth, the universe is not something came out of a creator. There is no such evolution or there is no such creation. Keeping the idea of a superimposition in the mind, listener should always keep the idea of superimposition inside the mind whenever I say birth. A clay cannot evolve into a pot because clay never changes its form if it is modified into a pot. clay remains same when it appears in the pot. Clay remains same when the pot is destructed or demolished. The clay is always in one and the same condition. Similarly, the Creator is in the one and the same condition, who is in the form of universe and all names and forms. The Creator itself is appearing in the form of different individuals. Each and every names and forms. Suppose we are 12 or 13 people right now. Each and every name and form have a base of Creator. The Creator itself is appearing as though different individuals. Like one clay is modified without changing its nature into 12 pots. One lump of clay is modified into 12 pots. Clay never given up the individual natural form, nature, intrinsic nature is never, the clay never changed its intrinsic nature, but it appears in 12 forms of pots. Similarly, even though we appear as a male, female, cow, dog, stars, trees, fish, etc., in different forms of creation, that name and form is just a superimposition on the Creator. The Creator never became a name and form. A name and form is a superimposition. So, in practical, we need to know that even though I appear in a female body, I never become a female body in the future, in the past, or in the present. I just mistaken my body is true, but in reality, the consciousness, the Creator is the real form or the real nature of each and every name and form. So superimposition is the key factor in studying Vedanta. Once you understand what is superimposition, atasmin tad buddhi adhyasa. Taking something other than what it is called superimposition. A real thing is missed, and instead of taking as it is, we give another name, or we replace, or we superimpose another thing on something what it is not. For example, a rope is missed in the dark room, and by stepping the rope, we mistake rope as a snake. Here, real superimposition happened. Rope is not known, and the snake is there in my mind, and I superimpose the snake on the rope. Similarly, my intrinsic nature is not known, and I only know that I am a body because everybody do their empirical activities considering themselves as a body. My parents also justified, confirmed me that they are body. Myself is also a body. My brother is a body. My sister is a body. So I confirm myself that I am this human body. This is called an error or a mistake in the real intrinsic nature. As long as we don't know the intrinsic nature, we are going to deal with the world by a mistaken identity that I am this body. And I welcome all kinds of miseries in my life because body is subject to all kinds of miseries. Body is subject to sufferings. Body is limited. Any limited being is not away from sadness. So one mistake will make me lot of sufferings in my life. In order to have an end for the sufferings, I need to know my real nature. So superimposition is the key factor or the logic in order to know what is the reality of mind. So here, the first individual, what we call Hiranyagarbha, which is the first superimposed form on the real consciousness. That is being told in the form of pranena. The very word pranena should be understood as Hiranyagarbha Rupena. First of all, there is a primary superimposition called Hiranyagarbha on the creator. The consciousness is superimposed as a creator. Even though consciousness never given up its intrinsic nature, but it is assumed as a creator now. Like a man acting in a movie as a hero or a villain, even though in reality that man is neither a hero nor a villain. Similarly, a reality is superimposed as a creator. And this creator, the first individual being, is called Hiranyagarbha. Why it is being told by Lord Yama? Because there are meditations on this firstborn Hiranyagarbha. This firstborn individual have the capacity to give boons and to give curses. And mind is very familiar with the names and forms. The first individual being can be the Lord for certain people. So Hiranyagarbha Upasana was very famous. So here, Lord Yama gives an equation that Brahman is equal to Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is nothing other than Brahman. So here he says that one which is in the form of prana, Hiranyagarbha, which is also Atitihi, who enjoys all this world. Ati enjoys. From there, Atiti. Other is a guest or a visitor. Atiti, that is. Here it is Atiti. We have 5 sense organs primarily. With the eyes, we enjoy this world by looking upon that. With the ears, we enjoy the world by listening few voices. With our nose, we enjoy the fragrance and aromatic smells of dishes, what we cook. Like this, our tongue have a crucial role to enjoy the world. And our skin, of course, give a beautiful pleasure by touching, etc. All these 5 senses are enjoying the world. This enjoying is represented by the word Atithi, one who enjoys. Atitihi. Atitir Devata Mayi, who is pervading in all gods or all lords. Devata Mayi. Mayi means prachurye, pervading in each and every lord and forms. So here, Atitihi, one who enjoy this world in the form of Hiranyagarbha, who is in the form of all deities, who is the embodiment of all deities, and he is also known as Hiranyagarbha. That thing who is called Hiranyagarbha, who is the embodiment of all deities, the first individual born, and he is also known as Atitihi. That Hiranyagarbha can get in our intellect. One who wants to meditate this Brahman in the form of Hiranyagarbha, Guham Pravishya Tishtanti. This Hiranyagarbha is obtainable, is accomplished, having entered in this Guham, Buddhi Guha. It can be in the head Buddhi or it can be in the heart, Buddhi Guha. Because I already mentioned you in the last class, when the mistake is the cause of all issues, the real knowledge is the solution for in order to eradicate the mistake. The real knowledge, that word knowledge itself shows that one should know. Knowing is done by our mind or intellect. Thinking, the proper thing. From where I will get the proper thing to think? From the guru, the traditional teacher, and with the help of scriptures, one can understand one's own real self. And understanding is a process done by the heart or the intellect, mind or the intellect. So after understanding my reality by thinking, that is why Buddhi Guhayam Tishtanti. We may go through these words in different Upanishads. Buddhi Guha, Buddhi Guha. Guha means cave. Cave which is in the intellect, means thinking properly according to the words of traditional teachers given from the scriptures. Thus we think ourselves that I am a superimposed body on the real nature, what we call consciousness or Brahman. Now we come to the whole meaning of the first sentence. Ya pranena sambhavati atitir devata mayi. Ya, that which is in the form of Hiranyagarbha, he is also known as Atithi, who enjoy all this world through the five senses, and also Devata Mayi, who created all these deities, or who is in the form of all deities, which is the embodiment of all deities, where he will be obtaining Guham Pravishya Tishtanti. He is available. If a person meditate about oneself through his intellect, he is available. Guham Pravishya, he entered inside the heart or in the buddhi, and he resides there. Ya bhutebihi vyachayata, along with the elements. Bhuta, Panchamaha Bhutani. 5 elements are the basic material of each and every body, whether it is sentient or insentient. This body is a constitution of 5 elements. I already explained to you in few classes. Water is there almost 80% in the body. Earth in the form of material like zinc, iron, potassium, etc., is there for 6 to 7%. Agni is there in the form of acid in our body, which give digestion, etc., in the form of, which is in the form of saliva, etc. Acid, Agni is there. Fire is there. Water is there. Earth is there. And also, there is a space to accommodate all this body. Space is also there. Vayu is there. Breathing is continuously going on as a ritual in our body. So, presence of air is inevitable. So, 5 elements, who is also born along with the 5 elements. So, now, for the understanding of our normal intellect, I will give the explanation apart from the verse. The meaning of the verse for our sake of understanding should be like this. From the Brahman, from the consciousness, the firstborn Hiranyagarbha, who is also known as Atitihi, the enjoyer of this world through senses, Devata Mayi, who is also the embodiment or the creator of all deities, he is residing in our heart. For the sake of meditation only, the location is being told by each and every scriptures. Remember that. Whenever we say it is in the heart, it is in the intellect, it is in the middle of eyebrow, for the sake of meditation, a location is prescribed. Nothing more than. One need to understand in both ways, in literal way, or what is there behind this literal meaning. Lakshanaya. Going behind the literal meaning. Just a literal meaning cannot help. That's why traditional teachers are needed in studying of scriptures. No reading will help a person understanding Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad or Veda. You need the meaning in reality, Lakshanaya. There will be always some hidden meanings to be understood properly from the literal meaning. So, the whole meaning is this. From this consciousness, the firstborn Hiranyagarbha is born, who is also known in this verse as Pranena, who is also known as Atitihi, the enjoyer of all these external world with the senses. Devatamai, who is in the form of all deities, because Hiranyagarbha is the creator or the firstborn before everything comes into being in this creation. This Hiranyagarbha meditation, this firstborn individual is also considered by few people as Brahman. So they used to meditate on this Hiranyagarbha. So one can meditate because this deity, the first individual born, is residing in each and everybody's cave of intellect. Guham pravishya tishtanti bhutebihi vechayade, coexist along with the elements. Born along with the elements. That is the thing which you have asked Nachiketas. He, the Hiranyagarbha, which is the first superimposed form on Brahman, is the thing which you have asked. Etat Vaitat. This already I explained in the beginning of the class and also in the previous classes also. That which you have asked is really within you. Etat Vaitat is a Mahavakyam. Like Tattvamasi, you are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am nothing but the consciousness which is unlimited, which is the source of happiness, which is the source of eternity, which is the source of creation. I am not a small individual living being. I am Aham Brahmasmi. It's a Mahavakya. Those sentences which echo, which have the meaning of the entire vision of Vedanta is called Mahavakya. Super specialty sentences loaded with all kinds of elements and ingredients of Vedanta. Then those sentences are called Mahavakya. In one single sentence, all vision is being loaded. That's called Mahavakya. All kinds of specific features of Vedanta is given. Similarly, Etat Vaitat is also a Mahavakya. Mahavakya means a sentence which has the vision of Vedanta. That which you have asked is nothing but it is very near. It is you. Etat Vaitat. This is the meaning of this verse. Now, we will go to the next verse. Very beautiful. I will read and I will give you the meaning. Aranyo nihito jata vetaha garbhaiva subrado garbhini bihi dive dive ityaha jagravat bihi havishmat bihi manushye bihi agnihi etat vaitat. Once more. Aranyo nihito jata vetaha Garbhaiva subrado garbhinibihi dive dive ityaha jagravatbihi havishmatbihi manushyebihi agnihi etat vaitat. Now, the fire, the ritualistic fire. We people are maybe familiar with the rituals of Vedas. Maybe not. Remember, Vedas have two portions. Vedas are the fundamental scriptures of Indian spiritual tradition. The authority is Vedas. From the Vedas only each and every actions are being taken by the traditional teachers and given to the people to do. After a death, what actions should be performed? After getting a birth of a baby, what action should be performed? So the first portion of Vedanta, Vedas are called Karma Kandaha. Mostly the first portion prescribes lot of actions, meditations, prayers, fire rituals. Everything will be mentioned in the first portion. And all these actions will fall in one of these 5 groups. There are actions in the first portion of Vedas. Each and every action will have a group also. There are major 5 groups of actions, and all the actions will fall under these major 5 groups. First group is called Nitya Karma. Without any amendment, one should do as long as one live in this universe. It's called Nitya Karma. Daily duties one need to do as long as one lives in this world. Naimittika Karma, occasional actions, incidental. Suppose somebody died in our house, there are some ceremonies. This is called occasional. Happy birthday, this is an occasional. Nimitta Vashal. Once in a year, a moment comes, and on that moment we do certain rituals, certain functions, etc., etc. Naimittika Karma. Kamya Karma, another set of actions. Each and every individual being in this world are born with a lot of limitations. What I have in my life by birth will not have for the others. What they have in their life by birth will not have for me. So I am having some desire to accomplish certain things what they are having. They are also having some interest to acquire something what I have in my life. For the sake of accomplishing anything in the world, rituals are there, prayers are there, meditations are there. This is called Kamya Karma. For example, a married couple is lacking their next generation. They don't have a baby for last 20 years. And they're worried about that. Because a married life will become fulfilled only through a baby. And they are not having a baby for last 20 years. How can we accomplish a baby in spite of our body limitations? When we come to the Veda, there is a specific ritual called Putra Kameshti Yaga. A ritual which will give the potential to have a baby in the coming year. if you do this ritual in the systematic way as it is mentioned in the Vedas, you will get a baby, in spite of all your limitations of the body. This is called Putra Kameshti Yaga. Now, another example. There is a specific ritual called Kariri Yaga. Suppose in a place in this world, there is a lack of rain for last 20 years, and it has become a dry desert. We want to make this land, flora and fauna, completely greenish, want some water, want some rain. You approach Vedas and you find solution. There is a specific ritual called Kariri ritual. If you do this ritual, you will get rain in the coming days. This is how each and every desires are fulfilled, and there are desires which are individual, which are collective, because having rain in a place is a collective desire. All these fall under Kamya Karma, a ritual based upon a desire, or a prayer based upon a desire, or a meditation based upon a desire. And the fourth set of karma. So, Nitya Karmam, Naimittika Karmam, Kamya Karmam, Prayashchitta Karmam, neutralizing actions. Those rituals and prayers and meditations which can neutralize our own misdeeds in our life. Due to misdeeds, I have suffering in my body, I have suffering in my mind, I have suffering from my situational sides. I need to take care of these sufferings. So I approach Vedas, and Vedas give some solutions. They are called neutralizing actions, Prayashchitta Karma, very important section. And the fifth section is called Pradishiddha Karma, prohibited actions. You cannot do as long as you live in this world. Very, very important section called Pradishiddha Karma. For example, Kalancham na Pakshed. Don't kill and eat any living being in the world. Everybody deserves to live in this world. Each and everybody have the privilege to live their life freely in this world. Human being is not only the living being in this world. All are under this creation having the same privilege what I have in this world. I don't have the capacity, or I don't have the adhikaram, potential to take anybody's life or to kill anybody. Innocent living beings, helpless living beings, they can't even beg you not to kill, holding their hands together. Only they can cry. Whether it is a cow, whether it is a hen, whether it is a goat, whether it is a lamb, they don't know how to express their helplessness. So, all these living beings are also having the same privilege to live in this world. As long as I survive, I will support them for their survival. So already Veda prescribes Kalanjamna Bhakshed. Please don't kill. So what about the places where vegetables and rice are not available? Nowadays, everything is imported. Everything is available everywhere. So that is out of context. I will talk about more when in a need. So 5 set of karmas are there in the first portion of Vedas. And all these actions will fall under one of these group. So any ritual will start with a fire made out of friction of one wooden cylindrical style pot and one wooden rod. It's called arani. The theory is friction only, like the matchbox. But from the olden days, the traditional way of lighting the fire, generating the fire is keeping a wooden cylindrical pot, and in that pot keeping a wooden rod made of wood and churning both sides. In this cylindrical wooden pot, you put some material which will be easily picked up by the fire, like hay, some powder, put wooden powder like that. And you churn this wooden rod. When the wooden rod having a proper friction with this wooden cylinder, after a few minutes, the fire will get generated. And the first fire is called Jatavetaha. What a beautiful name. A fire which is generated through this arani. Arani means a cylinder and a rod made of proper woods. Actually, this is made by Audumbara tree. There is a tree called Audumbara Vrikshaha in India. From this Audumbara Vriksha, the specific wood, when it falls down, or from the branches which has fallen down, from that, there is no cutting of certain woods to make something for the ritual. Everything should be taken from the fallen twigs or sticks or wood. So from the Audumbara Vriksha, you make a wooden cylindrical pot and a wooden rod, and in between you put some material which can easily generate some fire like hay, wood powder, or some other things, and you churn with a rock to generate the fire. That is called arani. The fire which comes first in this creation or in the ritualistic portion or in any ritual is equated with the consciousness. Because when we say all-pervading consciousness means each and every name and form, whatever we see in the world is nothing but this consciousness. No need to assume other than consciousness in the world. So here in this verse, this Arani Jatavetaha is equated to this all-pervading consciousness. Aranyo Nihita Jataveta. In this Arani, the Jataveta is residing. That fire which comes first after churning is called Jataveta. Very carefully maintained actually by this rod and this cylindrical pot. So this fire is there in between this. Of course, friction is the theory of generating this fire. Whenever there is a tradition, we get two types of shaving blades. One is our proper blade, put in that, and you can shave your body, you can shave your... Now, very easily you can take something other than is also there. But traditional people used to do with the blade and etc. Trimmer is also there. Three small type of blade is there, which are advanced. Even though the technology and the advanced things are there right in front of us, tradition continues with the most valuable instructions given by the Vedas. It seems to be foolish. Why one need to stick with the tradition when you are having the matchstick? Even though matchstick and matchbox are there, in a fire ritual, as the instruction, Audumbara Vrikshasya Arani, a wood which is collected from the Audumbara Vriksha is brought into, make a cylindrical pot having a gap in between, and this rod is put inside that, and this new device, Arani, we make the Jataveda fire. So this fire is maintained in this Arani, in this instrument, like what? Very beautifully given by the Lord Death to Nachiketas. Garbha iva sambradaha garbhani bihi. A pregnant woman or a group, how the pregnant woman used to maintain their fetus, their baby which is inside their womb, very carefully, with all kind of love and care. Similarly, the Jataveda fire is being maintained by this device. So, a fire which is used to lit up the ritual is being produced by the device called Arani. And in this Arani, by churning, we will get the fire. That fire is being kept or maintained as the fetus of a pregnant woman. Means, even though it is not available to see, this Arani will have the Jataveda fire as the fetus of a pregnant woman. This fire is equated, of course, each and everything in the world is nothing but the all-pervasive consciousness. This idea is being highlighted through different things. Now the fire, whatever we see in this world, that fire is nothing but Brahman. The fire is there, even though the Brahman, the base, the consciousness is in the form of a fire. It is been told, I will give you the specialities of the fire, and I will give you why the fire is being equated to Brahman in order to understand the reality of a human being. Everything we will discuss in the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithivi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Shoparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhavet Sato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Mritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om